Hey there, crafty friends. My name's Misty. Welcome to Gleespen Designs. For today's video, I have 5 gorgeous Valentine's Day DIYs, so let's get crafting. Now, of course, we have to kick off this video with some of the new Dollar Tree pink trees. I did end up using 2 of these trees for this DIY. These pink trees are exactly like the green Christmas trees around Christmas time that you can get from Dollar Tree. These ones are a pink color, obviously, and they do have this really pretty sequence color to them as well. Like I had mentioned, these are just like the green ones that you can get around Christmas time, so just like those ones, these are just as sparse. However, as you may know, there is a super simple way you can fix that, and that is to buy 2 of the same trees, put all of the bristles to one side, and then take some zip ties and put the 2 trees together. These trees do also come with the stands, and down here on the bottoms of the trees, they have these white plastic pieces for the stands. You can just pull those right off so that when you zip tie the trees together, you can get them a lot closer together. For my trees, I used 2 zip ties, one down here at the bottom underneath the branches, and then one closer up by the top. Once your trees are secure, now you can go ahead and start fluffing your tree out just like you would any normal Christmas tree. That is a very important part. Another little trick that I will use to get a fuller looking tree is if I'm placing it somewhere where it's up against a wall, I will still place all the bristles facing one side, then actually going all the way around the tree. Now, if your tree can be seen from all sides, of course, by all means, you can place the bristles going all the way around the tree wherever you would like them. Now that my tree is done, it is time to decorate, and I am using these pink styrofoam hearts from Dollar Tree. They come at 24 in a pack. I used my glue gun and I placed it on a low temp. Then I started hot gluing the hearts wherever I see fit all over the tree. For your tree, you can use as many or as little of these styrofoam hearts as you would like. For my tree, I used all 24 of the hearts in the pack, so I could also use some to fill in any gaps that I needed to as well. The next item I'm going to be putting on my tree is some beautiful pearls. Dollar Tree has several different sizes, and with each size they have different amounts, so make sure you are definitely paying attention to that. I decided to go with the medium size, and just like I did with the hearts, I used my glue gun and I started gluing them all over the tree. I didn't just put the pearls on the ends of the tree branches. I also started placing some down inside further back in the tree so that once you get up close and you look at it, it just looks so beautiful. I was actually going to add more to this tree, but I really love just the simple look of the hearts with the pearls, and of course we will be adding lights as well. But for the base of the tree or the bottom, all I'm going to use is a Dollar Tree vase. I fill it with some Dollar Tree sand so that I can just shove the tree down inside and it will not move or go anywhere, and it will just stand up nice and straight. Now that our tree has a base to it, it is time to add the lights, and I got this box of LED fairy lights off of Amazon. There is 32 in a pack, and I know that the lights are under $1 per each light, so I know that it was at least under $30. It was a really good deal. Not only is the price amazing, but they also are 10 feet long with 30 LED lights on each strand. But my absolute favorite part is the very small little battery pack that can be easily hidden on your DIY projects. I will have a link down below in the description box if you guys would like to check out these LED fairy lights. You can also get them in smaller quantities as well, and also in different colors. I'm sure you all know how to add fairy lights, however, all I did was just weave the fairy lights back and forth until I ran out, and then once I had all the fairy lights on the tree where I wanted them, I just took the battery pack and tucked it back behind the tree inside the vase. I made sure that the on and off switch for the lights was facing up so that it was easy to turn the lights on and off, and here's how this absolutely gorgeous Valentine's Day tree turned out. this DIY, I will be using one of the house shapes with the dry erase background. They do also have the chalkboard black background as well. Along with the house shape, I will also be using these new Dollar Tree paper flowers. They come at 12 in a pack, and they do also have different colors you can choose from. Each one of these paper flowers do have a sticky dot on the back of them, and I thought these would be kind of flimsy since they are paper flowers, but you can definitely tell they were sprayed with something to make them a lot more firm. Even when I pinched them and kind of pulled them around, they really held up their shape really well. Yes, I know I just said there's sticky dots on the back of them, and you could just stick the flowers right onto the house if you would like. However, I wanted mine to last a really long time, so I also used a little bit of hot glue on the back of each one of the flowers where the sticky glue dot is. And then I just start taking the flowers and placing them wherever I see fit, trying not to place one and another flower that are close in the same color right next to each other. So I just kept going back and forth with the colors until I had the entire inside of the house frame completely filled. If you wanted to make just the house with the flowers, all you have to do is again fill the inside of the frame with the flowers and it is done. However, I wanted to make mine as a set, and I found this solid wood house shape at Dollar Tree, and I'm using my linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and I give it one coat. I only needed to paint the house with one coat of the white chalk paint because all I'm doing is really making a base for my rub-on transfers that are from Dollar Tree. These are the wood rub-on transfers. They do also have them in other colors as well, but oh my goodness, I've used these multiple times and I am obsessed with how these turn out. They look so gorgeous and realistic. It is a really good rub-on transfer, I can tell you that. So just like with any rub-on transfer, you're going to place it right on top of the house, and then I just take a large popsicle stick or craft stick, and you could also use a Cricut tool if you need to, credit card, really whatever you have on hand. I've used the back of my scissors. It does not matter. Just rub the transfer onto your project, and then once you have it completely rubbed down, all you have to do is peel it off. Now, I needed to do the entire house, so I just took the piece where I had the rub-on transfer still on its backing, and I just turned it so that it will fit on the top of the roof of the house, and then I just placed it down and rubbed that down as well. And when I say the entire house, I do mean just the entire front of the house. I want it to all have that really pretty white wood look. Now, I know not everyone likes the distressed look, however, I do decorate my own home with the things that I make, and I do like the distressed look. If you don't, you can just skip this step if you would like to. However, I took my zip sander and I went around every corner and every edge that I could on the wood house so I could give it a really nice distressed look and have that natural wood peeking through. Next, I'm going to be using a bag of the wood letter tiles from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to simply grab out the letters L, O, V, and E. Once I had my letters picked out, normally I would eyeball something like this, but I decided I wanted to make sure it was actually straight because when I do eyeball them, they're not normally very straight. So I wanted to make sure this one was perfect. So I just grabbed whatever I could next to me and made a nice straight line, and then started taking my letter tiles and gluing them down where I wanted them to be on my house shape. Once I had all my letter tiles glued on, I did take my pencil and erase the pencil line that I made to keep the tiles straight. Now I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree jute twine, and I just place it going across the front of the house, then I glue it down in the back, and once I have it glued down, I start wrapping the jute twine around the house so that I have it kind of wider on one end and then going closer together on the other. if you can kind of see how I'm doing it here. Definitely harder to explain, but I just have it closer together on one end and farther apart on the other. And once I have it wrapped around to my liking, I just hot glue it down on the back of the house in place. Now I'm going to be using some of the paper flowers that I had left over, as well as some of these. I believe they're solo wood flowers. They came from a wonderful kit from Brandy from the DIY Struggle. She has a great website for napkins to decoupage. I will have it linked down below in the description box if you guys would like to check that out. But all I did was place the flowers where I would like them. And once I had them in place, and I did place them where the jute twine is closer together, and that was why I kind of wrapped the twine the way that I did. But all I did was glue the flowers down, and once I had them glued down, this DIY was done. Before the final reveal, just like with the flower house, you could also use this house all on its own as well. For this DIY, I will be using one of the Jumbo Craft Styrofoam hearts from Dollar Tree, and along with the heart, I will also be using the macrame cord from Dollar Tree. I have been wanting to use this for quite some time now, and when I thought of this project, I could not wait to see the final finished look. Before getting started, if you have a glue gun where you can control the temperature, I would suggest putting it on a low temp. To start wrapping the cord around the heart, I place some hot glue down at the bottom where the tip of the heart is. Then I just place the end of the macrame cord on the hot glue. I allow a second for it to cool, just because I'm going to start pulling the cord and wrapping it around the heart, and if you pull too soon, it will just kind of slide out of the glue. So just give it a second to dry, and then wrap the macrame cord around the heart. And as you wrap around, place a little bit of hot glue at the very bottom, and then just start pushing the macrame cord close together so that you know it is side by side. And usually I can get a few wraps of the heart each time I add the hot glue. And then once I got to a certain point on wrapping the heart, I did start adding hot glue down at the bottom and then also up here at the top, just so that I can keep the macrame cord close together. Every once in a while, I also placed some hot glue in the center of the styrofoam heart just to ensure that the macrame cord stayed in place and there was not any gaps. Simply keep wrapping the macrame cord going all the way around the heart until you have reached the end and you can no longer wrap the cord around, and then you just cut off the excess. Then I started on the other side, gluing the bottom of the macrame cord down at the bottom of the heart, and again start wrapping the macrame cord around the heart just like you did with the previous side. Once you have the macrame cord wrapped all the way around the heart, again, cut off the excess. And you guys, I wish I would have had another one of these styrofoam hearts, because I would have made one just like this and left it just as is, because I really love it with that macrame look. However, I had a vision for this heart, so I had to complete it. So I'm taking this pink yarn from Dollar Tree and I'm placing it going diagonally at the halfway point of the heart, at least where I think the halfway point is. And then I glue it down on the side and start wrapping the pink yarn just like I did with the macrame cord going down the bottom half of the heart. Of course, I went out of frame pretty much here, but I do just wrap it like I did with the macrame cord going until I could not wrap it anymore. Then I glue it down and cut off the excess. Now that my pink yarn is how I would like it, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree heart lace. This lace is so pretty. I love using it, and I just place it around where the top of the pink yarn starts, and I wrap it around the heart so that I know how much ribbon or lace that I need, and then I just hot glue it on the front and as well on the back. Once you have the lace glued into place, this DIY is done, and look at the sun coming through my window shining down onto my desk. I think that looks so pretty. I think this heart makes it an absolutely adorable little shelf sitter, and here's how it turned out. For this DIY, I'm going to be using 2 of these surf, sun, and sand canvases from Dollar Tree. I really like the shape of these, so I knew I wanted to turn them into something completely different. So I turn the canvases over and I start taking my rollerblade and going along the outside of the staples. I go all the way around the canvas and the frame, making sure I really get the ends or the corners really well. Once I've gone all the way around with my rollerblade, I just start pulling the canvas away from the frame. It does come off quite easy as long as you can get all the way through the canvas. Again, that's why I pay special attention to the corners, because sometimes they want to give you a little bit of a problem, but just remove the canvas completely from the frame. And again, you are going to repeat this step on both of the frames. Next, I want to remove this centerpiece that's on the frame, so I grab my heat gun. You can also use a hair blow dryer for this. It just might take a little bit longer to heat the glue up so that you can remove that piece. But I just hold my heat gun in place, moving it around where the glue is on the frame, holding that centerpiece in. And once I have it warm enough, I'm able to just wiggle that centerpiece and it will come right out. And then once again, I repeat the same step on the second frame as well. Once both of the centerpieces are removed, all you will have left is the rectangular shape. Again, using my white Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Linen White, I'm going to do a heavy dry brushing. And by heavy dry brushing, I mean mainly covering the entire frame, but leaving a little bit of the original color of the frame peeking through, because it does kind of have that wood color. So all I'm going to do is just do a heavy dry brushing on both of the frames. So I decided to do this backwards, and I should have put the bottom on and then painted. However, I painted the frames and then decided to put the bottom on and then painted the bottom. So in order to save yourself some time, just put the bottom on first and then paint the entire piece so that you don't have to go back and paint 2 times. So for the bottom, I'm using these jumbo craft sticks that I got from Walmart, and I just placed the frame on top of the craft stick and marked down where I needed to cut them. Now, I do suggest actually measuring it out and making sure that they are all exactly the same length, because I just held one up against another and then cut it down to get the size that I needed, and they were not exactly perfect, and I did have to do an extra step at the end because I did not like the look of how it turned out. But again, if you want to save some time, just measure them out and then you will not have to do that extra step. So after I had them all cut out, I just went ahead and used my hot glue gun, placed some hot glue onto the bottom of the frame, and then added my craft sticks onto the bottom. And for the last one, I did have to cut down because it was a little bit too wide. But if you look at the craft sticks that are glued on, you can tell that they are not all the same length, and that kind of bothered me. And you can also tell once you are looking at it from the front. So I painted again the bottom with the white Rust-Oleum chalk paint like I did the frames, and You can see once I'm painting the edge here, how you can see it looks jagged. I don't really like that, so I did have to do an extra step at the end. But if you cut your craft sticks all at the same length, it will not look like that and you will not have to do the extra step. Once everything is all painted and dry, I need a piece of this Dollar Tree metal ribbon because we're going to be using it later on, but I do need a piece of it now for measurement. Then I'm also going to be using some of my favorite bamboo sticks. These were sent from a subscriber, but I do know they are from Amazon, so I will have a link down below. And then I found these really neat garden shears at Dollar Tree, and they are perfect for cutting these bamboo sticks and lots of other things as well. I measured each one of the frames as well as the width of the ribbon, and they are all 1 inch wide, so I knew I needed to make my bamboo sticks 3 inches long. So I cut 4 of my bamboo sticks at 3 inches, and then again using the white Rust-Oleum chalk paint, I painted all 4 of those white. I want the top frame to be separated 1 inch from the bottom frame so that I can see through the metal ribbon and also so light can shine through it. So I take the bamboo sticks and I hot glue one in each corner of the bottom frame. Once the bamboo sticks are all glued on, take the second frame and slide it over top of the bamboo sticks and line the bamboo sticks with the top of the frame, and it will fit nice and snug. And once you line the top of the frame with the bamboo stick, you will have a perfect 1 inch gap because we cut the bamboo sticks at 3 inches. Now I can bring in the Dollar Tree metal ribbon, and you can use whatever style you would like. They do have several different styles. So I just take it and I start on one end first, and you can very easily curve and pinch the metal ribbon wherever any of your corners are. And you're just going to simply go around the frames right where that 1 inch gap is between the two frames. I do end up gluing it on. I just went all the way around it so I knew how much ribbon I needed, and also so that I can get the shape that I needed first. Now that I have the shape I need, I take my hot glue gun and I place some hot glue going along the bottom of the top frame and the top of the bottom frame. That's kind of hard to say, but you'll know what I mean if you make it. All you want to do is start taking the hot glue and you're gluing the metal ribbon along that gap that is in the center of your frames. Holy moly, you guys, it's been a day. Let's just say that. Again, as I'm going around the frame, I just start adding my hot glue where I need to place the metal ribbon on both of the frames, making sure that it is nice and straight. And again, work your way all the way around the frame. And you guys, I love how this turns out. I promise you, stick around because the end result is absolutely stunning. Once you have your ribbon glued all the way around, cut off the excess, and you guys, look at this. I love this so very much. However, remember those jagged craft sticks that I said was going to cause an extra step earlier? Well, here's the extra step. I bought these square bamboo sticks off of Amazon, and I thought they were the perfect size to cover up this jagged bottom down here. And as you can see, you really can see it, and in person you can see it even more. So I decided to paint them with the Krylon metallic silver spray paint. Don't worry, I do show what the paint can looks like later on in the video. And once the silver paint was all dry, I just used my hot glue gun to start gluing the bamboo sticks on the bottom of the frame going all the way around. Once all the bamboo sticks are glued on and you can no longer see that bottom, I am so much happier with how this is turning out. You could add whatever you would like into your box. I decided to go with these 3 glass vases that I found at Dollar Tree. They had them in white and black. I grabbed 2 in white, 1 in black. However, I am going to change the color of the black one. But if you were going for an all farmhouse look, these colors would be perfect. However, for my black one, I decided to go with this candy pink paint by Rust-Oleum. For the white ones, I decided to leave it the color that they are, except I did want to change out the ribbon and I wanted to remove the keys. I do end up keeping one of the keys to tie onto my pink glass. However, I wanted to change the color to silver, so I used the Krylon Metallic Silver spray paint, and that is the spray paint I was telling you about earlier. I found this really pretty candy pink heart cutout ribbon at Dollar Tree, and I knew I wanted to wrap it around the top of these glass vases. So I just took my hot glue gun, added a little bit of hot glue up by the top of the glass piece, and simply wrapped it around, hot gluing it into place so that it goes all the way around. Then I just cut off the excess and did the same thing to the other glass vase as well. Now that the glass vase that I spray painted pink is dry, I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree macrame cord that I have left over, as well as making sure that the key that I spray painted silver is on hand. And I just take a nice long piece of the macrame cord and start wrapping it around this neck part up at the top of the vase. And I just wrap it back and forth until I am happy with the look of it. And once I have it where I would like it, I tie it into a knot. Then I take the key and slide it onto one of the macrame cords and just tie a simple bow, or you can make a bunny ear bow like I do here, or even a shoelace bow if you would like. Once I had my bow pulled nice and tight, I used my scissors to cut the macrame cord where I want the lengths of my tails to be. And now you have 3 subtle but absolutely gorgeous Valentine's Day vases that we can put into our box that we just previously made. I set all 3 of my vases inside, putting the 2 white ones on the outside and the pink one in the center. Once they are all inside the box, look how beautiful these are, even without any florals, greenery, or anything inside the vases. I think this is so pretty. However, we do still need to add our lights, again using a string of those fairy lights that I got off of Amazon. I just took the fairy lights and bent them back and forth and then kind of separated them at the center and then placed the vases in the center of the fairy lights and then tucked the fairy lights around the outside of the vases. As always, you could add whatever you would like inside of the vases. I have had these decorative reeds for quite some time. However, I see them at Dollar Tree every time I go, on the end caps usually. So I just grabbed 3 packs and cut a few of them at different lengths so that it didn't look all the complete same. And then I'm losing my voice if you guys can't tell, it's getting horrible. But so all I did was place a few of these down inside these vases, and here's how this DIY turned out. Okay, guys, here it is with the full lighting, and this is including camera lighting. I love how this turned out. I know I said it all throughout the DIY, but oh my goodness, I really do love this DIY. And this here is with no actual camera lighting. This is just the light from my dining room ceiling light. And here is no light except for a few trees that I have wrapped in white lights next to it. You guys, look at the light shine through that metal ribbon. I am obsessed. And I would absolutely love to know what you guys think down in the comments. For this DIY, I will be using one of the heart wired wreath forms from Dollar Tree, as well as 2 rolls of macrame cord. I thought I was going to need 3, but I only ended up actually using about 1.5. To start adding the macrame cord to the wreath form, I took the wreath form and flipped it upside down. Then I take the macrame cord and start placing it through the center of the wreath so that I can attach it down here at the bottom. And basically I'm having the macrame cord wrap around the front of the wreath form, and then I'm adding some hot glue onto the back and just wrapping the macrame cord around, gluing it to itself. This will make sure that the cord stays in place while you're wrapping it around the wreath form. Now that the macrame cord is attached to the wreath form, I flip the wreath form right side up, then I start adding some hot glue as I start wrapping the macrame cord around all 3 of those heart wires that are all connected together. Just like with a wreath form, there are 3 rings that are connected, and here in this case, it is 3 hearts. And you're just going to keep doing what I'm going to call big loops, and that is wrapping the macrame cord around all 3 of those wired hearts until you get to this second spot right up here. So keep on wrapping those big loops until you get to this second connecting bar up here, and I do add glue here and there every once in a while, and then I wrap quite a few times. I usually get at least 10 wraps before I start pushing it down, making sure that all the macrame cord is close together, and then I add a little bit of hot glue, and then I do another 10 wraps and then add a little bit more hot glue, and I just keep going, again doing those big loops until I get to that second connecting piece. Okay, now here's why I call them big loops. So now you're going to take your macrame cord, and instead of making a big loop around all 3, you're going to put it through the first wire, then go around, then make another big loop, and then put it through the first wire, making a small loop, then make a big loop, then again put it through the first wire, making a small loop, and you're just going to continue making big and small loops all the way around until you get to the next connecting piece. Once you get to this point at the next connecting part, you can start wrapping them into the big loops, making sure you go all the way around all 3 of the wired hearts on the wreath form. And once I got to this peak here, I did add a little dab of hot glue just on the peak to keep the macrame cord in place. Then I continued doing the big loops until I got to the next connecting piece. Once you get to the next connecting bar that keeps all 3 of the wired hearts together, you're going to go back to making these small loops, making sure you put the cord through the first heart on the wreath form, going around, then making a big loop, going around all 3, then a small loop and big loop. But right about here is where you're going to also run out of your first roll of macrame cord, so you will have to start by placing another one on. And all I did was just glue the macrame cord to itself on the back where I ran out. Once I ran out of the first roll and it was time to add the second roll, all I did was pretty much do the exact same thing that I did with the first roll, and I just glued it down at the bottom of the heart wreath form, wrapping it around all 3 of the wired hearts and gluing it to itself. Then I went back to making the large loops going around all 3 of the hearts on the wreath form until I got to the second connecting piece. Again, you are just repeating the same steps that you did on the previous side. So once you get to the second connecting bar, you're going to continue making those larger loops and smaller loops until you reach where you cannot make any more and your wreath is full. Once I reached the point where I could not make any more loops, I just turned my wreath over, hot glued the macrame cord down, and then cut off the excess. Once the excess is cut off, push the macrame cord closer together where you see any gaps, and I think it is gorgeous just with the cord all on its own, but of course you know we have to jazz it up. I wanted to make it look like the heart had one of Cupid's arrows shot right through it, so to do that I'm going to use this dowel rod that I got from Walmart. I do believe it was under $1 or right around $1. If you do not want to use one of these and keep it all Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree does have these long skewer sticks that you could use for this as well. To get the size arrow that I wanted, all I did was hold the dowel rod right up to the heart and grab it where I wanted to cut it. And I used some shears to simply cut the dowel rod. I did have to pinch it a few times, but it did end up cutting. To figure out where I wanted the arrow to go through the heart, I just placed the dowel rod on top of the heart first, placing it where I want the arrow to go through, and then I grab the macrame cord, separating it, and start pushing my arrow or dowel rod through the macrame cord and making sure I go underneath the second heart wired on the wreath form, and then go across, spreading the macrame cord again and pushing the dowel rod through and underneath the second heart on the wreath form and out the other side. To create the arrowhead, I'm using one of these wood planks that you can get from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4 or 5, I do believe, and I'm just grabbing a tool to make a straight line so that I can make a triangle. I'm not measuring or anything like that. I was going to, but it's a triangle. I mean, how hard can that be to mess up, right? I do end up making it smaller than what I do here, but this is technically how I made it. I just traced out a triangle and then used my X-Acto knife to score where the triangle lines are, and then I just popped it right out. Again, I do end up making it smaller, and then once I had the size that I liked, I sanded down the edges so that they were not so rough. Once my arrowhead shape was done, I needed to work on the other end of the arrow, so I used some of these hearts from this 24 pack of little wood hearts from Dollar Tree. They come in 3 different sizes and also in an unfinished wood, a red, and a pink color. I wanted to use a different pink color, so I grabbed one of the larger unfinished wood hearts and then mixed up my own pink color with some pink paint that I found at Dollar Tree and my white chalk paint. Once I had the pink color that I liked, I painted the unfinished heart as well as the arrowhead. Once the paint was dry, I went in with my sandpaper and sanded it down. Again, I like the distressed look. You can skip this step if you would like, but I just sanded it down so that you can see some of the unfinished wood color peeking through. To attach the arrowhead to the dowel rod, all I did was add some hot glue on the back of the arrowhead and place it right at the top of the dowel rod. When it came time to adding the hearts on the other end of the arrow, I was only going to use the heart that I painted pink, as well as one of these smaller unfinished wood hearts, but I do end up adding another heart a little bit later on. But for these two, I just glued the pink heart to the dowel rod and then glued the unfinished wood heart to the pink heart. Of course, once I have everything glued on, then I decide I want to make the arrow look like it's going through the heart a little bit more. So I just move a few more of the macrame cords over and then push the arrow right back through and then add my arrowhead back on. Next, I'm going to be using some more of these paper flowers from Dollar Tree, and along with these, I'm going to be using another one of these. I believe, again, they're solid wood. If they are not, please correct me in the comments, but I am using another one of these as well. Unfortunately, I did not have any more, or I probably would have put more, but I really love the look of these. So I add one by gluing it between the macrame cord, and then I take a few of the white as well as a few of the different shades of pink that are in the paper flower packs, and I just hot glue those going around the solid wood flower. Once I thought I had all my flowers in place, it was time to add a hanger to my wreath, and I'm using this candy pink or baby pink heart cutout ribbon that is again at Dollar Tree, and I just made a loop with it and added some hot glue and glued it up in the center behind the wreath. Once I had the hanger on, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more color just because the two pinks that I used are so similar that you really can't tell much of a difference. And I also wanted to add a little bit more of a different color so that this wreath matches those little houses that we made and some of the other DIYs as well. So I just pulled off some of the pink flowers and then hot glued these brighter or darker pink flowers where the ones that I took off were. When I was adding these flowers on, I also noticed that one of the hearts that's in the pack of hearts from Dollar Tree really kind of matches the color of the flowers pretty well. So I decided to add one of the smaller hearts in that shade to the bottom of the arrow as well. And now this absolutely gorgeous wreath is done. And not only can you hang it, but I think it looks really cute sitting up on my fireplace mantle just like this as well. So it could also be a shelf sitter. Really quickly, I would like to send a huge thank you out to some of the people that go the extra mile to help support my channel. Tracy, Barbara, Joan, and Andrea. Thank you so very much. You guys, it is so appreciated. Buy Me a Coffee is just a fun and silly way that you can help support your favorite creators. You can go to the website on your screen, or you can click on the link in your description box. I truly hope you all enjoyed these DIYs as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you. I hope to see you all and a few new friends on the next one. Bye!